Ashribad means the blessing. It is a scheme for specially care children. Special care children, I am speaking about the children who lost their parent during the COVID-19 pandemic. I repeat for the forum that it is not due to the pandemic. Children who lost their parent or caregivers during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the most important matter was to support children who face difficulties due to death of both parent and death of single parent or primary burden of the family during the pandemic. And it started the scheme being implemented from the date of 20th June 2020. It started 1st April 2020, and the end date of the period was 15th September 2021. The objective was children to be provided family-based non-institutional care, which is obligated to the United Nations Convention on Child Rights 1989, to which India is also one ratifying country. And the another objective was to continue their life in the similar socio-cultural environment, to encourage caregivers and other kith and kins for care and protection of such children, convergence of various government programs to provide best of the care to such children. And it is clear now that we are treating them as specially cared children. So as treating them specially care children, we have a very package of program under this scheme. For the category of children who lost both parent or remaining parent and living with the kith and kin after order of the Child Welfare Committee under Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children's Act 2015 and as amended in 2021. The children who lost both parent are paid 2,500 rupees per month to the caregiver, and it will continue until the child attains 18 years of age or the child is adopted. Besides, they are also provided with health assurance services under state-run Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana. They are also enrolled, the caregivers are also under the food security program. We are facilitating free education in the same similar kind of government or private school where they were continuing their education when their parent was there. And also we are encouraging and supporting them for higher education under the state-run another program named Green Passage, where the children who lost their parent during the childhood are supported for free education in the government's institutions. And they are also entitled under full security scheme. And also we are giving priority to the caregiver families in different socioeconomic assistance programs. And also specific efforts has been made for the protection of the properties of these children. Next category of the beneficiaries are children who lost both parent, remaining parent, and cared in childcare institutions after order of the Child Welfare Committee, again under the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children's Act 2015. Under this category, if the child is not getting any kith and kin or extended family members to take care of, then we have shifted children. In the next slides, coming slides, I will explain you about the figures. So in such cases, children are getting all kind of care, protection, and nurture services in the childcare institutions. Again, in addition to that, the state is depositing rupees 1,000 per month in a saving bank account of them. Besides, they are also covered under the Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana, and we are also facilitating education, and efforts has been given to continue their education in the similar kind of school. And they are also again covered under the other government schemes. And the last point not in the list, children who lost primary breadwinner parent and living with remaining parent, and they were paid rupees 1,500 per month till the child attains 18 years age. It will continue. Again, they are supported with the state health assurance program, free education in government schools, coverage under food security, and the mother of the child will be provided with the other pension program and social assurance programs. And I am to mention here that there is no financial ceiling. And we are getting applications from many of the people, those who are having sufficient financial support also, but they don't have parent. And some people, some parent, extended family members or grandparents, they have also given unwillingness that they are not interested to take this money. Besides, there is no financial earning restriction for such thing. The implementing agencies, which I am leading the State Child Protection Society under the aegis of the Women and Child Development Department, Government of Odisha. We are implementing it at the state level, the State Child Protection Society, as well as at the district level, district child protection units supported by the Child Welfare Committee, Juvenile Justice Boards, and child care institutions. They are implementing it. The main feature of this scheme is it is a public-private partnership program. As I already explained, that child care institutions run by GOs and NGOs, they nurtured our children. Also, the many educational institutions, many reputed schools, they also joined hand with this scheme, taking the interest. They also declared that they are continuing children in their educational institutions without charging fees. And also, it is promotion of non-institutional care as mandated to the UN agencies, and we have put in effort to continue the life of the child in their own socio-economic and cultural condition, and institutionalization treated as the last resort, with the objective that we should not detach the child from their own community, own environment, own family, and own surroundings. And community engagement, of course, has been done. The local Panchayat Raj leaders, the local NGOs, local self-help group members, all were engaged in this, and the field functionaries, of course. It was a time-bound effort because children can't wait without the family. So immediate arrangement was done with the help of the helplines. The emergency services during the restricted environment also conducted. As all of you know that during the COVID-19 pandemic, there was many restrictions. During that also, children were provided with such services. Additional efforts was made on the field level by the child protection functionaries, as well as the Anganwadi workers, the ASA workers. They also joined hand, and it was a collective effort. And financial provision by the state was done on an open heart, because initial projection was not so much. But later, when we covered the scheme with her, we saw that the number is increasing, but the state was not in a mood to restrict it. And the department and the financial department and the policymakers and decision makers were open to that led that increase, but they supported all children who identified. The challenge was also to monitor and follow up a large number of children with limited functionaries, but we did it, and we did it through a dedicated website, dedicated portal named asrivad.odisha.gov.in, and later on it was implemented. It was used for implementation of the direct benefit transfer to the caregiver families. Here is the figure. As you can see, total till date we are supporting 51,130 children, those who lost parent during the COVID-19 pandemic in the state, and some of them are also outside the state, those who belong to Odisha, but they were staying there for their livelihood. And when they lost their parent, the family went back to the state, and they also applied under this. As you can see, around from the beneficiaries who are availing support, 2019 numbers are children who lost both parents. And during this period, from 2020 to 2022 till today, 172 children who crossed the age of 18 years, they were discontinued with the financial support, but we are supporting them for aftercare, through aftercare support for their life building and mainstreaming them. Also, we are supporting around 46,505 children, those who lost their breadwinner parent. And till date, such category of 2,434 children who are crossed the age of 18 years. And the Asrivad beneficiaries, as you can see, we are also tracking the district-wise figures. Many districts, we are having total 30 districts in the state, and we are tracking each district cases and pendency and the fund release and other convergence activities. Convergence activities included, as I mentioned, the food security, protection of properties, and support under other state schemes like Biju Sishu Suraksha Yojana, support from the State Juvenile Justice Fund, and others are already included. Children also linked to various schemes, as you can see here. The 2,117 children also supported with Biju Swasthya Kalyana Yojana card. Around 2,117 children also supported with the state food security scheme. 75 children also admitted in the Odisha state-run CBSE model school, Odisha Adarsh Vidyalaya, and also in Kendriya Vidyalaya is run by the Government of India. As you can see, 46 children are continuing education in the private school where they were before when their parent was, and 165 children are enrolled in the pension yojanas and their families, and 46 children are provided with free higher education under the Green Passage scheme. In the right pie chart, as you can see, the children who lost the breadwinner parent, the 39,631 family, the children were covered under the Biju Swasthya Kalyana Yojana, and 40,397 children enrolled in the food security scheme. Then again, 402 children admitted in the CBSE schools in Odisha Adarsh Vidyalaya and Kendriya Vidyalayas. 3,215 children still continuing education in private schools in convergence, as I said, in public-private partnership. And 1,648 children, they are in CCIs and also they are covered under the pension yojana and green passage yojana, of course. To reach out every child and with the objective that no child is left, we did many IC activities, many meetings, organized meeting between the stakeholders, IC activities through newspaper advertisement, TV, social media. We also had a state help desk named Sampark, which was also providing information about the scheme, grievance redressal, as also we provided psychosocial support to the parent, the caregivers, and children. District were conducting periodic orientation to the field functionaries to cover more and more children. Scheme vouchers were circulated, scheme guidelines also circulated, and Childline also had a very major role in the implementation of the thing. And the result, the outcome, as you can see, here is the impact story. The left one was before, when they lost both the parent, children were staying with the grandparent. And the smile you can see on their face, the change, after getting the support under the Ashirvad scheme and connected convergence support. I have some more good stories also. Like here you can see who they lost the breadwinner parent.
Sir,
who was
working. You have 2 minutes more.
Sure. Thank you. So the breadwinner parent who was a contractual worker under the employment guarantee scheme, and he was an assistant and he lost the job as it was contractual in nature. The family lost the livelihood, and they had 3 children, and our support made them unable to continue the life. And as you can see, the grandmother, the mother, and 3 children are continuing their life in the village. Here you can see the master you are looking at the photograph and ready to go to school. Unfortunately, he lost both parents, and the remaining people in the family was the one grandparent and one uncle, grandmother and uncle only. So the family again, they decided not to send the child to the childcare institutions. So they continued the child in there, and the child is continuing the education in a private school in Jagatsinghpur district of the state, and we are supporting the child. She is another girl who is now continuing engineering college named Bhuvananand Odisha School of Engineering, Cuttack. She lost both of the parents, and when she was rescued, she was also COVID-19 affected, and she was in isolation room of the childcare institution. In the childcare institution only, she appeared the 10th exam and she passed in first division A grade. and now she's continuing the civil trade diploma course. So here are these are the few examples of the impact stories. I have many stories which will take so much time. And Ashirwad impacted a lot, and it is a collective effort of GO, NGO, and in-time decision of the state. So this much from my side. Thank you so much for the patience to listen to me.
Thank you, sir. Very good support you are providing to these especially cared children. In fact, this is a very emotional subject. I paid full attention to your presentation. I still feel that if there are some children left behind because of non-communication to them about your scheme, then please do cover them also. Because in villages which are in remote areas, people don't understand that such a scheme also exists. So please
Yes,
do
sir.
cover them also.
You're right, sir. We are still getting applications, and the website is open for any citizen, and the Anganwadi workers are also intimated that they can send, and we are getting applications, sir. Thank you.
Definitely, definitely. Then please go up to the last child to help
Yes, sir.
them.
Sure, sir.
Thank you very much.
So very
Good work.
noble work, and I think this type of scheme should be run by the central government on a national level in mission mode. And I wish you all the best. You have undertaken this type of work, and the state is also actively keeping up this scheme live and enhancing the scope as well.
Thank you,
I
sir.
wish
Thank you so much.
I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much to our jury. Now I'm going to run a poll on
this scheme is to strengthen the preschool education and transforming the way the children attend the Anganwadi centers and transforming the Anganwadi centers and making them vibrant. Next. Before I start with the presentation, let me give you a background of the ICDS services in the state. We through 74,154 Anganwadi centers across 338 ICDS projects. We are covering 41 lakh beneficiaries, and this is quite a widespread program. All the Anganwadi centers are operational, and the programs are continuing as desired in the state. This Malti Devi Prak Vidyalaya Paridhan Yojana was, it's a state-funded scheme being implemented since 2017-18 in the state. We are now currently covering 17.37 lakh children under this scheme. Basically, this scheme has been designed to give a stronger identity to children, motivate the children to attend the Anganwadi centers and make the centers more vibrant. From the state government, the entitlements that are going to children, the provisions that are being given to children are 2 pairs of uniforms, shoes, socks, sweaters to children who attend the Anganwadi centers. A color code is also prescribed for the uniforms: pink shirt and blue pants, red sweaters or hoodies, black shoes and red socks. You can see the children, how they look pretty wearing these uniforms. The state government has till date released an amount of 328.50 crores, and the budgetary allocation for the financial year 22-23 is 78.12 crores. Regarding implementation of the scheme, our current mode of implementation of the district offices is utilized for this. Funds are released to the district social welfare officers who implement the scheme at the districts, and for this, detailed guidelines have been developed and issued. The role of women SHGs is very crucial in this entire implementation, since they have been engaged to stitch the dresses, to knit the sweaters, and procure the shoes, socks, and other items to provide the children. In case suitable SHGs are not found in certain areas, there the Anganwadi workers, they procure the uniform, sweaters, and other items and provided to the children at the Anganwadi centers. And this is a scheme which is being implemented all across. It was initially it was the uniforms that was given from the state funds, and later on in phases different items were added, and now it's a package that is being given to the children. Regarding the governance practices, this entire program has been decentralized. The state, as we are also implementing the ICDS program in a decentralized mode, we have adopted the same mode for implementation, where we have engaged the SHGs or the Anganwadi centers for its implementation. The systems are quite transparent because the different items for the children are distributed on fixed days, like on Children's Day, on Independence Day, or at the community level. And the distribution happens in the presence of the members from the community, people's representatives, the different committees that are there for monitoring, community members and parents. And of course, for this program, we also have very strong convergence with the Department of Mission Shakti, where we have roped in women for implementing this program at the ground level. It is definitely a program innovation because it is one of its kind in the country to strengthen the preschool education. The children, they're less prone to illness, and due to various health issues, they were getting ill earlier, but now we take care of their health. In the winters, we're providing them sweaters, we're providing them shoes, we are providing dresses. So, they are also taking care of the seasonal variations and giving them by giving them this kind of uniforms and shoes. And there is a sense of equality and equity amongst the children, because, in villages, there were certain children who were not so privileged of having, uniforms and sweaters, but with this uniform kind of thing, they feel equal and there's an equity. And this also contributes to school readiness. The habit of wearing uniforms, going to Anganwadi centers, it makes them school ready. This is also in alignment with the NEP. And, it has also improved the preschool attendance of children. Earlier, maybe due to, rainy season or winters, children not having proper uniforms, there used to be certain gap in preschool attendance, but now they are all attending schools, Anganwadi centers. There is social inclusion. And, it gives children a sense of, inculcates a sense of discipline, a sense of identity, and motivates the children to Anganwadi centers, attend Anganwadi centers. And in the entire process, we also have ensured economic empowerment of women. The certain benefits of this program is, the Anganwadi centers have now become aspirational. Parents are motivated to enroll their children at the Anganwadi centers, send them to Anganwadi centers. With very small, investment, we have getting huge returns. And of course, the Anganwadi centers have now become transformed. They have transformed and they have become vibrant centers of learning. You can see the happy faces of children along with the parents and members of the community and with their beautiful dresses, and how they are attending Anganwadi centers and feel pride in attending the Anganwadi centers and, getting the benefits. So this is a team from another state who had visited one of our Anganwadi centers, and you could see all the children lined up in their beautiful dresses. So this was it from our side. And if there are some questions, we'll take it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Definitely, it will motivate them to attend their classes, and it will ensure the equality among them. Excellent work. Thank you, please.
No specific question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Services which we are providing to the citizens of state of West Bengal. Actually, in West Bengal, you know that in India, fire services is a state subject, and state have enacted their own acts according to which fire services in each and every state functions, and they provide various services to the citizens regarding their day-to-day business activities and their day-to-day life safety matters. In West Bengal, fire services was established in pre-independence days. Afterwards, it was brought under the state of West Bengal as West Bengal Fire and Emergency Services. Thereafter, we have enacted our act during the year 1950, and that act was made applicable to the whole state of West Bengal during the year 2003. Sir, from the very beginning, we have started providing various services to the citizens of this state regarding their various activities for which they required clearances from fire department. In order to establish any industry or in order to construct any building which will be considered a high rise as per definition given under National Building Code of India, clearance from fire department is mandatory as per West Bengal Fire Service Act. So it is our duty to see that each and every applicant in any corner of the state are in a position to get the services within the stipulated time limit and without any problem being faced by them in applying as well as while processing the same and during downloading of the application, downloading of the certificate. So from the year 2014, what we have started to provide each and every services to the citizen in online mode. Previously, we used to provide them all those services in offline mode, due to which citizens have to face various problems like delay in getting services, exploitation from various corners. And what we have done, slowly, we have shifted all our services in online mode so that the citizens, by sitting in the very comfort of their own home, own house, their office, whatever it may be, they can apply directly. They can upload the documents required for submission along with the application, and departmental processing software is so swift and so simple that departmental officers are in a position to process those applications within the stipulated time limit. We have brought all our services under RTPS Act so that time limit can be fixed and services can be rendered to the citizen within that particular time limit. And we have also implemented penal provision so that if any due to any shortcomings at any end, if citizens are being suffered, then the official who will be responsible for that particular default or the particular delay, he will be penalized, so that the other people can learn a lesson from that, and the people will be in a position to get services in a smooth manner within the stipulated time limit. Total, we are having 8 services which we are providing online. Some are related with construction of high-rise and high-risk buildings. We have defined high-rise and high-risk building in our West Bengal Fire Services Act, and it is mandatory as per Section 11C of our Act that each and every applicant, whoever will be applying for construction of that type of high-rise or high-risk building, will be in need of clearance from West Bengal Fire Services. Apart from that, in order to establish any industries which will be dealing with any hazardous item or which will be storing or processing any hazardous item beyond exempted quantity, they have to obtain fire license for storage and processing of those hazardous materials as raw material as well as end product. So from our end, what we have done, we have brought all 8 services regarding 4 related with construction of buildings, high-rise and high-rise buildings, and 4 related with grant of fire license for storage and processing of various hazardous material, firecrackers, other petroleum products, etc., etc. So from 2014, while we have brought all our services within the gambit of this online thing, what we have done, we have tried our level best to achieve the requirement fixed under ease of doing business thing, so that any entrepreneur who are in a who are interested to install any type of business in the state of West Bengal, he will get all sorts of assistance for fire department within the particular stipulated time limit. Their submission of application, we have made it very smooth. The application format which we have developed, that is very limited, that is having very limited fields, so that they don't have to go for lengthy submission of documents. And the uploading of document, that also we have made very much minimum, so that they don't have to go for uploading of very lengthy document, which will sometime may create problem in uploading. And we have also taken very good care that we have created help desks for each and every district in West Bengal, so that people from each district, whenever they are applying online, if they are facing any sort of problem in submitting the application, in uploading the requisite document, in getting the thing processed, in downloading the end certificate, they can approach online, through phone, or through email, or by directly coming to the offices of zonal officers, and they can get their job done without being involved, physically involved in any manner. That physical interference we have totally eradicated, and we have made the system totally online, so that people can apply by sitting in the comfort of their home. They get their thing uploaded, they get their thing processed, and they get their certificate downloaded by sitting in the comfort of their home, without having any sort of interference from any other thing which they used to face during earlier phases, while we have not got these services under the gambit of online thing. Sir, we are also having our further improvement project. For that,
Sorry to interrupt you. Please conclude. You have 3 minutes more.
for that, we have already brought in e-district 2, wherein we have implemented few other remedial measures which we have felt very much essential to give the online services more promptly and more effectively and efficiently to the citizens of West Bengal. Out of that, what we have done, we have already limited the time frame from 30 days to 15 days. Means whenever an applicant will submit their application through common application form of Calcutta Municipal Corporation, or through UDMA online system, or for a Shilpa Sathi scheme of our industry department, they will get the thing processed by all line departments simultaneously, and within 15 days time, the total application will be processed by all the line department, and the demand amount will be generated combinedly, and after payment of demand, the requisite certificate, they will be in a position to download within that 15 days time limit. Apart from that, what we have done, we have decentralized the service rendering system. Each of the district officers, they have been empowered to issue online services to the applicant from their own end, so that the applicant can get services from local offices. And we have formed technical expert committee by the order of the government, and that technical expert committee are taking care of all the applications, whatever they are getting from each and every part of the state. If you see that the difference what we have made, the thing which we have achieved, then we have to see the comparison that prior to implementation of online thing, the percentage of disposal was not that much higher. Now, while we have implemented this online system, we are in a position to achieve near about 85 to 95% of disposal within the stipulated time limit. It is our achievement, and we are in a continuous process to improve this system in a far better way, so that 100% disposal can be achieved within that stipulated 15 days time limit. This is
Sir,
our.
please conclude now. Please conclude now.
This is our target, and we are hopeful that we will be in a position to achieve this within a very short period of time. Thank you very much.
Sir, good presentation, good intention for providing online services to the business and community. But after granting the permission, or do you at any stage, do you also take physical inspection to ascertain that as they have built the building as per your provisions?
Sir, actually in our West Bengal Fire Services Act, there are two steps. First, they have to apply for fire safety recommendation we wish to give online. And in that fire safety recommendation, we recommend them the requirement as per National Building Code of India, the what type of fire safety measures they have to implement, incorporate in that particular occupancy based on the type of occupancy. And after incorporating those fire safety measures, they have to again apply for fire safety certificate. And while giving fire safety certificate, we conduct physical inspection of that particular occupancy to ensure.
Okay. Got it, sir. Got it. Thank you.
And also, apart from that, renewal measures are also there. Actually, this fire safety certificate is valid for 3 years. After every 3 years, they have to get this certificate renewed.
We got it, sir. Thank you.
Got it, sir. Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
How it gets implemented in the unique land of Jammu and Kashmir. In the brief presentation that we are going to bring before you, we're going to unfold a reflection of some of the milestones of this journey, the challenges inherent, some concrete outcomes which demonstrate the efficacy of our effort, the innovative strategies that we adopted, which led to very quantifiable outcomes, which we defined as successful outcomes in terms of not just augmenting revenue, but also improving the tax compliance behavior as a whole in the society. And since all this has been a teamwork, team effort, even in this presentation, we want to bring in the voices from the vital members of our team. So I hand over to Additional Commissioner Shri Shakil from Kashmir, who is going to join from Srinagar. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Shakil Makbul, Additional Commissioner Kashmir. So the tax journey, the GST journey has been an eventful one. It started, interestingly, 1 week later than the rest of the country, because at the time, Jammu and Kashmir had a special status, and due to Article 370, any amendment, constitutional amendment that was done had to be, there had to be consent from the state side. So there was a deliberation, and it was decided that GST, being a robust technology platform at the time, which will increase the tax base substantially, and it will lead to a progressive increase in revenue and ease of doing business, and it will also in the long run lead to a better compliance behavior and a substantial increase in revenue eventually. Based on this, the then government of J&K, the state government, gave its consent, and the journey started a week later. But the ideal of one nation, one tax was achieved. So we had many challenges which were unique to Jammu and Kashmir compared to rest of the country. For example, we are aware that this is a Himalayan state. The topography is difficult. The geography is such that there are very remote areas which do not have access to the kind of IT infrastructure which is needed for a system like GST. So these all challenges we have taken up and we have fought against these challenges, be it the connectivity issues, be it the human resources capacity which needed to be upgraded, or for the last but not least, the lack of awareness on the ground, especially given that there was an information asymmetry between the people living in urban areas, the people living in remote areas, the people living in areas like LOC near the international border. So there was also this question of the trust deficit due to a historical memory kind of that has existed between the citizens and the state here. We had these challenges, and it was by overcoming these challenges that we could actually realize that ideal of one nation and one tax and lead to a substantial increase in the revenues. So these are the challenges that we have fought and we have done well against. With this, I will pass on the baton back to ma'am to dwell on how we have achieved things beyond these
Thank you.
challenges.
But ultimately, the test lies in how we quantify the success. So over to Namrita, the Additional Commissioner from Jammu Division, who will talk about, what were the outcomes in concrete terms.
Thank you, ma'am. My colleague has highlighted the challenges faced by J&K in implementation of the One Tax, One Nation reform. Despite challenges, State Tax Department, through its concerted efforts and analytic strategies, have been able to achieve an upward trajectory in terms of revenue collection. If we look at the average monthly revenue collection from the base year 2017-18, when GST was implemented, from 300 crore, J&K has jumped to 605 crore in 22-23, ending December only, which is nearly double in 5 years. So in terms of total revenue collection, that includes all the cash collection, if we see from April to December 22, J&K has been growing at the rate of 20%, which is a very good sign. From 4,600 crore only ending March 22, this year, if we see from April to December 22, we have been able to reach more than 5,000 crore in terms of cash collection in SGST and IGST. In overall GST collection also, if we see for the figures for December 22 only, J&K has registered a growth of 28%, which is almost double to that of the national average of 15%. Again, if I compare J&K with our neighboring states in terms of the cash collection growth of GST, J&K figures at number 1 position. So despite challenges and initial setbacks, GST collection in J&K is increasing steadily, and in some cases, we are leading in the country.
Thank you. And from Jammu, now I go again back to Srinagar, from where Mr. Wasim, the Assistant Commissioner Technical, will tell us more reflections about the outcomes, revenue, and otherwise also in terms of tax compliance behavior.
Thank you very much, ma'am. As already elaborated by our seniors as well, the significance of GST implementation in case of Jammu and Kashmir was altogether, a challenge in itself because of the Article 370 prior to its abrogation. Because GST was the only, J&K was the only state at that point in time wherein service tax was levied by the state itself. So revenue collection in terms of service tax collections was something which state agreed to forego in lieu of GST implementation. So challenges in terms of GST implementation in J&K was it came up with some high expectations. And at this point in time, at least we can say that the decision taken by the government is well taken, and we are heading towards the right approach. And the decision was, in agreement of what was presumed at that point in time. Considering our tax base at that point in time, we had only 70,000 of taxpayers now, which has risen up to 1,32,000 at this point in time. In 5 years time period, we have nearly doubled our tax base. And it has been reflected in revenue collections as well. Last slide clearly indicated that from 300 crores in 2017 and 18, our monthly average revenues has risen up to 605 crores in this current financial year. Similarly, it can be seen that the incidence and efficiency so far as tax collections and its contribution towards GDP is concerned, it has significantly increased from 6 points average to 8 points in terms of contribution of tax in GDP. This is the GDP which the tax is being contributed at the state level. Now, post GST implementation, our tax base is halved. Half of it is being taken by the center. So not only contribution towards state GDP, we are also equally contributing towards the national GDP, and contribution is quite significant and being appreciated at the highest levels. Similar is the case with the return filing. It has been significantly improved despite several challenges post abrogation of 370, then COVID, and then problems related to connectivity issues in the rural areas. We have been able to achieve our return filing percentage from 85 to 97. As on date, our return filing is topmost in the country. And same is the revenue collections. If you can see the graph in terms of revenue trends for the last 10 years, it has been significantly improved. And this contribution has, made us feel proud that we are contributing not only for our union territory, but we are also directly contributing for the national building. And in terms of the, a sort of goal which is being laid out in the budget 2022 and 23, that we will move towards our vision for 2047, and we are heading towards.
So thank you, Wasim. And with this, I now go to the strategies that could be adopted, which particularly has led to a very quantum jump, which was very visible in the last slide, seen over last 1 year, especially this financial year. So over to Ms. Ankita, who is the Additional Commissioner Tax Planning, to talk about the strategies.
Thank you so much, ma'am. A very good afternoon, everyone. The previous slides have talked about our achievements, but how we manage to achieve those achievements is the point that I'm going to talk about. The Department of State Taxes Department has taken a multi-pronged approach. It has taken up policy initiatives like advanced ruling. It has taken up statutory obligations like audit exercise. However, there's one thing that we have actually tried to do, which might be our innovation in a way, that is to set up our own special investigation unit for creating homegrown intelligence inputs for the purpose of catching big tax evasion cases, which I believe is also something that the government of India has been focusing on. The other thing that we have done is try to bring a systemic coherence between the different stakeholders through the creation of Zonal Convergence Forum, which has brought together all the locational offices of the department together in one forum. Further, what we have tried to do is to bring about a coordination platform with the CGST officials who are our counterpart in the center government, and we have a regular mechanism of discussing strategies with them. And the final point that has led to this coherence of approach is the automation of the department and the fact that we have a very good data analytics cell which utilizes all the IT tools that the GST has been giving us. With that, ma'am, the strategies that we have adopted has gone a long way. I pass on the baton to the next speaker.
So, Ms. Namrata, the Additional Commissioner, who has been particularly interested in the IC and the ease of doing business, would just reflect on that further.
Continuing with the strategies adopted by JNK in augmenting the revenue, the focus has been on massive outreach to stakeholders and ensuring tax compliance behavior. Now, for this, our department, State Taxes Department, is running a concerted IEC campaign on a regular basis. Now, under this, the taxpayers are being updated about various latest developments in the GST Act through our social media handles and a dedicated website. Like we have a round-the-year calendar, which is being followed of awareness camps and training programs to augment the effort of the Department of Tax Compliance from the stakeholders. For example, when e-way bills scheme was rolled out, it was a concerted campaign to reach out to the transporters. Now we are running round-the-year campaign in which our drawing and disbursing officers are being informed about tax filing of returns and other statutory compliances. Now, again, very linked to it is that how we are doing ease of doing business. Now, for seamless GST compliance, ease of doing business is being ensured through a concerted effort of setting up GST Suvidha Kendra. We have a GST Suvidha Kendra in all the far-flung districts across J&K, and all the districts, 20 districts have been covered, where we are giving hand-holding support to our taxpayers in registration, return filing, and other statutory compliances. Again, advanced ruling mechanism, SGST, CGST coordination is ensured. And the purpose here is that tax compliance mechanism becomes pro-people, and at their doorstep, it should be available to them.
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. You have a 2 minute more. Please continue.
Okay, so now to sum it up all, to see and to view something is to believe it even more. So these are some of the pictorial glimpses which bring our foot soldiers in uniform, marching in unison. You know, I've seen in the recently done passing out parade meant for the SI, sub-inspectors, how a canteen itself gets activated for the employees for a feel-good factor at their convenience. How the outreach sessions are carried on in remote locations like Rajouri, Doda, Poonch, Baramulla, Anantnag, Shipyard. So with all this, we are confident that we are poised to create even more milestone. Wishing you all a very, very happy new year 2023 to the jury members and others who are organizing the SKOCH Award. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You have proved it with figures, with pictures that you have done a commendable job. All the appreciation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ma'am, when we start improvising something, then the problems also start coming up. So what is the grievance mechanism which was set up, which is unique or something different from rest of the states?
Right, I'll take that. So, you know, for the grievance redressal, we work at 2 levels. You know, one is at the headquarter level. At the headquarter level, we have a mechanism by which the senior officers are in a grievance redressal committee, where even the CGST, you know, they are a part of that committee. So because as per the Act, you know, many of the taxpayers are to be administered by the CGST, some by the state authorities, but ultimately we feel that the ownership lies with the state, you know, for each and every dealer over here. So we have been taking up their, you know, grievances with the CGST authorities also, besides those at the policy level where we as a department can articulate it further, advocate it further. However, at a more decentralized level, at the grassroots level, the Suvidha Kendra, the facilitation centers that have been spoken about, there we have, you know, a mechanism by way of which the queries can be resolved, the grievances can be, you know, to the extent possible sorted out, you know, at through the face-to-face interaction or through calls. So there's a dedicated phone number given for the, you know, help desk, you know, which if cannot be solved at the circle level, we have nodal officers who sit in the headquarter. So there are, like, you know, certain technical, you know, grievances like our returns not completely getting reflected, you know, the amount not getting reflected. So these are, like, yeah, sorted out at the technical level also. You know, if we have to take it up with the GSTN, that is done, you know, rather than leaving it for the dealer to take it up with the GSTN at the back end. Thank you.
All the best, ma'am. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All the best. And a great year ahead to all of you. Thank you.
State. And we have submitted our proposal in the category of e-governance. So I'll go through the initiatives, e-governance initiatives that we have taken during the last 1 year. I'll share the screen here. The basic intention of doing this was to increase the efficiency in the working of the department, increase the delivery of services, to improve the services to the stakeholders, to provide better services to the citizens, also to plug loopholes and thereby increase the revenue of the state. So the first initiative that we've taken is about the grievance redressal system, wherein the citizens who complain about illicit liquor activities in particular district or a village or any town. So when they apply online, their names are totally kept secret, and immediately taking action immediately, the complaint is directed to a particular district. So this has been very successful in the last 1 year we have seen. Also in the Suvidha portal, this is a one-stop solution for all complaints, and messages generated are immediately sent to the concerned authorities for action. The second initiative is vehicle tracking system. So we have installed kits on all the flying squad vehicles. We have flying squads, around 48 flying squads in the state, and we have around 12 checkposts on different borders of the state. So vehicles which are keeping watch on these checkposts and the flying squad are manned by this kits installed, so we can track them on real time, monitor the movement of the vehicles, and thereby we can actually keep track of where our the flying squad officers are actually going in the night patrol or maybe vehicle stoppages, and whether they are detecting illicit liquor activities or not. So this has been quite useful to us, and the response time is very quick. The next model is the supply chain model, which is basically very useful for the liquor manufacturing companies, also the PLLs and the country liquor manufacturing companies, and also the beer manufacturing companies. So there are 8 sub-modules in this supply chain model. One is the license. Number 1 is the molasses management, in which actually we track entire production of molasses in the sugar factories, the yield of molasses, how much surplus molasses is remaining for export purpose, how much molasses has been actually sent outside the factories, and the molasses that has gone into distilleries for spirit production and dispatch system. So we have the monthly written submissions and all the dispatch details in this molasses management model. So basically, this is the backward integration, total, end-to-end solution, where from molasses to the production of final liquor. So this is totally tracked in the supply chain model. The second sub-module is the spirit production and dispatch. So in this also, how much spirit has been manufactured in the distilleries, and how much the sale is monitored during this season of production. Also in the third, liquor production and dispatch sub-module, we have the entire data of the liquor production, where it is sent, the distribution of the entire liquor in the state. The fourth sub-module is beer production and dispatch. So here, similarly, we monitor the production of the beer and the dispatch. Then there is a liquor trader management system. So all the data of the liquor, which is received from the manufacturers and distributed to the retailers, is captured in this module. So we know exactly how much liquor has been manufactured and actually sold to the retailers. The liquor transaction sales are also monitored in the retailer system. We also have a very efficient label registration system, in which this is also part of the ease of doing business, where the companies which apply for the label registration they can track the entire process of the label approval. And so we also can keep track of where the label approvals are stuck, whether they are exceeding the time limit or not. The next module which we have developed is the label registration. This is the inspection and breach case module. So in this inspection and breach case module, we actually do the randomization of officers. So officers will also be will not be knowing where they are going to visit. So because of this, there is a surprise element involved, and so we can identify more breach cases in this. So we can track entire inspection and breach cases of the entire state. Another important module, which is very important for all the other states, as you can see, this import application and EVC. EVC is excise verification certificate. So the states which actually export their liquor to the state, like the liquor that comes to Maharashtra from other states, they will immediately know when we issue this online excise verification certificate, how much quantity of liquor from that state has come to Maharashtra. So this is very useful to other state department, excise departments for monitoring the sale of their liquor outside their state. Another important aspect is right to services. We have notified 52 right to services now under this RTS, and 38 services are already online. 12 services are basically in the supply chain module, and 26 services are in the Aple Sarkar portal, that is the government of Maharashtra's portal. 14 services are in process to be included, to be notified for this. We've also taken important step of geotagging of all licenses and offices. So an officer who goes for inspection in any other district can immediately know the status of the license holder and whether the license issue is genuine or not. So even the offices are also geotagged. So there's an ease of finding the location of licenses for cross inspection. So this is an example that we have given. If there is a country liquor license at Satara district, on the right, you can see on the screen. So you can immediately locate, the license number, all the details of the license can be immediately tracked in that. Online crime registration. So excise crime registration module. Here also, the daily crime registration information is entered by all the officers. It helps us to actually evaluate the officer's performance. And at the state level, at the headquarters, we have real-time availability of the crime data. It helps to gather information of repeated offenders so that we can take, the next higher criminal actions against these repeated offenders. It helps in analysis of types of crime committed by the offenders, and also in the analysis of valuation and seized articles. So this has actually been very effective for monitoring at the state level, especially for the commissioner office, to monitor on a real-time and daily on daily scale of what exactly crime registrations are taking place and which districts are lacking in crime registration, which districts are doing better in crime registration. So this is easily tracked by the help of this module. Another model which we have done is this check post and TTP. TTP is through transport pass. So suppose a state, another state is sending liquor to another state, and it is crossing Maharashtra. So as it enters the state, we will know how much liquor that particular vehicle is carrying. And when it leaves the state, Maharashtra state, suppose if it enters somewhere at Mumbai, and if it leaves somewhere at the other place like Nagpur, so at that place we will know that the liquor that has been that has come from, suppose, for example, Haryana has left Maharashtra, and how much quantity has left. Initially, this was very difficult to monitor because it was all manual. And so there were a lot of cases of irregularity also that were happening. But because of this TTP module, now other states also know what is happening with the liquor that has been sent from their state. Cross-border check post export verification is also now very easy, and it is online, real time. Therefore, we can verify the liquor and spirit exported through the check post of Maharashtra. There are other mobile applications that we have initiated to facilitate, the authenticity of transport pass. So this transport pass, our officers, earlier it was manual. The transport pass was also manually issued. So it was very difficult to actually, for the officers to actually know whether it is a genuine or not. So now with the help of mobile application, we can immediately track the authenticity of this pass. The quantity of liquor spirit is shown after scanning, and the loading and destination point is also ascertained. Route violation can also be detected because of this. Another very important app that we've developed, I think this is first of its kind in the country. This is the Toddy Geo, Maharashtra Toddy Geo. So now we'll be mapping the locations of all the toddy producing trees, and all the tapping of trees is also ascertained. How much tapping is done in each tree, that will be ascertained. So it will also facilitate the issuance of toddy transport pass from trees to the shops, and it will help us monitor the tapping and conserve the trees also. These are some of the proposed initiatives in which we'll be putting up CCTV installations at the major license holders like distilleries, liquor manufacturing units, so that we can keep regular tab on these activities. Also, installation and commissioning of control and command center at the headquarters is in process, which will definitely help us in avoiding the leakages of revenue. The CCTV access will be shared with the district, division, and the headquarter. Also, as per requirement, we'll have analog digital dome cameras also will be installed at different places, and automatic vehicle number recognition is also on the track. Also, digital lock, vehicle tracking system, and the digital lock will be installed on the transport vehicles. So this is also under process, and soon we'll be rolling out this initiative also. This app has been integrated with the Aple Sarkar portal on Government of Maharashtra and license registration system under the supply chain module. It is also integrated with the Maitri portal and supply chain module, as well as RTS services. So all these integrations also help us to provide better services to the citizens and the stakeholders. Thank you. I'll welcome if there are any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Suryavanshi ji. Very good presentation and good efforts to streamline the supply chain management. But about 10 days back, you have read in newspaper that in Bihar, illicit liquors were consumed by so many people and they were dead. It is an unfortunate on the part of a country. So do you have such an issue in your state? And if so, what are you doing to tackle that?
We had, long back, we had this issue where we also had faced such tragic incidents. But we have taken an initiative where the denatured spirit is now colored. So it is very difficult for using it in the illicit liquor production. Also, because of these initiatives which you've taken, which we just showed to you, actions on the illicit liquor has been intensified to a great extent in Maharashtra. And so because of this putting up different colors in the denatured spirit, incidents which the tragic incident which occurred in Bihar, I think we will not have such incidents in Maharashtra. Thank you, sir.
Sir, do you have any strategy to export the liquor from your state?
We export liquor.
So how
There's
what
no
is
ban
the,
for it.
no, I'm just asking for GDP enhancement, because some of the European states, countries are exporting large quantity of liquor. So can we compete with them and increase our production, and then foreign exchange we can have in that respect? What is your take?
Yeah, that's a very good question, sir. And many of these PLL, the liquor manufacturing companies, have started exporting in bulk quantities to Africa and Africa and the Middle East countries. The wine that is manufactured in Nasik, especially, that is now even exported to France. I mean, earlier we used to import wine from France, but now we can proudly say that our wine, the wine manufactured with the grapes in Nasik, is also exported to European countries. So people are taking efforts, and we have a huge market in Africa, especially. Although we have not been able to actually make any dent into the original Scotch manufacturing countries like the European countries. But yes, I mean, we've been able to export to the African countries and some Middle East countries.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.